Welcome to another episode of Straight Out of Politics. I'm your host, Compton J, and I'm joined with Liv. How are you doing, Liv?
I'm great. How are you? We kind of just talked about that. How is everyone? I hope everyone is doing well and having a better day than Jay is.
Yes. Let's see. Yeah, I see Quakers here. What's
Quaker!
up? And
See the change,
a bunch of
Malik.
other people. What's up, everybody?
Who's everyone?
Okay, so wanted to talk today just memorable moments, your greatest moments, things that we learned, just kind of just reflecting on the General Strike Summit. I think speaking to, for example, like Nick, we both felt the General Strike Summit exceeded our expectations. Like, we thought we had a good lineup and it was going to be good, but we just didn't think it would turn out to give that much information, that much helpful information for people. So that was great. And of course, you participated in several panels. I know I saw you on at least 3. I think
I was on 3. I think I was on 3. I think you're right.
Okay, then I saw you on all of yours. So what was your experience? Tell me what you think about the whole thing and your experience with it.
It was, again, like definitely exceeded expectations. Like it was such an immersive educational experience. But it's like so fun, so interactive. Like it was so great. My favorite panels were probably, I loved the Tara Reid panel, the disability panels I was on, the climate crisis panel, the history of the Black Panthers mutual aid. What else? And then JB did 3 disability rights panels. Amazing. So I enjoyed those very much. And then the last one I was on Sunday night was about like mutual aid and
activism.
Union building. I gotta say though, I think I'm like over unions. Like that definitely like sealed the coffin. Like I was like, I'm done with unions. Like,
was it something you learned?
Yeah, it was just like,
what was it that you learned that got you to change your idea about that?
It just seems like it's so corruptible. Because it's it's leadership, it's representation,
right.
and that can be corrupted because it's not direct powers to the people. So it kind of solidified to me that I think going forward, worker co-ops or something we've been talking about with PVN is like how we're trying to function it right now, whether it be a worker co-op or something that someone else advocated for, which is like a collective, like I'm not exactly sure, but something more collective. But that definitely seems to be preferable, in my opinion, over unions, just because we've been doing this for so long, and we've just seen it break down. Like, why don't we just stop trying to like reform and all do that and just say like, okay, let's leave this be and let's try something else. Or, worker co-ops are already and collectives are already happening. Like, let's just expand upon that and say like, wow, this is actually going really well, which I think they talked about on some of the panels, worker co-ops. Like this is actually doing really well. Like our workers and employees are happier with their like outcome. Like I think it was someone saying they were like friendlier with their welcomes and just like overall like happiness at work. And it didn't affect productivity. So like having a 4-day work week, and also having workers work together. That's what I learned. I learned I really don't like unions. I prefer worker co-ops.
Well, I think I have the same sort of critique, but I haven't given up on them only because it's just like, Democratic Party. You have the people in leadership that have been co-opted because like in the John Deere example, I think it was the John Deere strikers. The union head was trying to get them to accept that, and they were the ones who voted overwhelmingly. So the people still have the power, but the union heads do try to, sheep herd everybody, in the particular way. So I hear what you're saying. So I'm all for worker co-ops. Actually, the workshop right before that Sunday activist panel you were on, I think, talked about worker co-ops with Kamali. I remember it being on Sunday, but maybe it was somewhere around that time. So, but before we go any further, I want to make sure everybody likes this video and share this video, because funny things are happening. Like, we're finding out people are being unsubscribed to our channel. So check to make sure you're still subscribed, actually, now that I think about it. And then, share this video, share any of the videos on the FHL network. And this is the only way we're going to be able to get our voices out, is people-powered marketing. I guess you can call this people-powered marketing. So that was the first thing. The other thing is, make sure you watch all of the videos, all of the content, even if it takes you several weeks, because it is great information tucked in several places throughout the general strike. So I think it's 6 videos, 6 parts, 2 parts for each day. And the other thing is, I kind of wanted to play this funny video. It's been uploaded on our channel. It's called Oligarch Ice Cream. It's a commercial. It's a parody. It's a commercial where Nancy Pelosi is selling. She's the spokesperson for Oligarch Ice Cream. So I wanted to play this. A friend of mine who's an actress did this, and I thought, hey, me funny, and it's all about the art. So let's play her. Oops, not there. Yeah, let's play her video. Where do I have it? Oligarch Ice Cream. All right, so yeah, I mean, short video. I think it's 2 or 3 minutes, and let's play that, and then we'll go ahead and get into the discussion.
Oh, hi! I'm Nancy Pelosi, United States Speaker of the House, and now the official spokesperson for Oligarch Ice Cream. Ice cream for the ruling class, for the people that really matter. You're probably wondering, what makes Oligarch Ice Cream so special, Madam Speaker? And, well, if you could get past the Secret Service to actually ask me, which, yeah, that'll never happen. I would say it's the delicious taste, the tantalizing texture, but really, who gives a rat's ass about those things when you figure out that there's an insider trading tip at the bottom of every carton of Oligarch ice cream. And you're probably thinking, I want that. I need that. I deserve that. And I would say, no! You're the average American. You wouldn't know what to do with that much money. It's like if you had good quality health care. You wouldn't know what to do with it either. It's just a silly idea. You're ridiculous. The $55,000 price tag, frankly, really makes the decision for you. It means that the only people that get this ice cream are people who know how to spend your money better than you do. Oligarchs, like my good friends Michael Bloomberg, Mark Zuckerberg, and Bill Gates. I can't think of one surefire way that you can get your hands on this bad boy. And it involves moi. Yeah, that's me. Can you say, make it rain? Yeah, baby. My Cash App is at Pay Mama Bear. Oh, but I'm thinking, oh wait, I feel it. You're getting greedy. You're thinking greedy thoughts. There's only one insider trading tip per carton, and a 2-carton max per person. Mike Bloomberg. Yeah. This commercial's been brought to you by the Democratic National Committee and paid for by average American tax dollars. Thank you. I'm rich. Bitch! Oh, yeah. Oh, give it up, give it up, give it up. Nancy, give it up, give it up. Nancy, go, Nancy, go. Nancy, Nancy, Nancy. I get a little carried away sometimes. It's okay. Thank you.
Pretty funny. Yeah, she's a really talented actress. I've been working with her and known her for years, so I thought it was pretty funny. All right, so let's get into today's discussion, and really, I just wanted to kind of just recap some of the moments, or I wanted to talk about some of the moments, and then play some videos of some of the moments that we. Talk about some of the moments that you and I are memorable to the both of us, and then play some of the videos that are on the Fred Hampton leftist Twitter page. So I'll start. One of my most memorable moments is Rome going out to the Kellogg worker strike and Kamala going out to the nurses strike, because that was completely unplanned, and it wasn't part of the schedule, so that's why it wasn't on there, because we wanted to make sure, make sure it was actually going to happen. But when Rome got the chance to speak and bring on the president of the union, the local union for the Kellogg workers there, that was, to me, was amazing. That's one of the things that really, really stands out to me. And then some of the things he was saying, Liv, was as if he was a leftist, but he clearly said he wasn't political, but just the stuff, I believe in Medicare for all. And he was like, I wasn't at the march, but I absolutely support the Medicare for all march. And he was like, if everybody was able to have, healthcare coverage, we could eliminate that as part of the problems we have negotiating with businesses. So that to me was one of my memorable moments. So what was one of your memorable moments, Liv?
Honestly, seeing Logan's garden and seeing what's possible to grow your own food, and how it just it was just so breathtaking. And I was like, I could not be more excited to start gardening and trying to contribute that into mutual aid and community organizing and building. But yeah, seeing their garden was amazing. And then definitely hearing the interviews with the nurses on strike, the Kellogg workers on strikes, hearing. And these were for what I saw, and tell me if I'm wrong, but these were all older people, and they were just they were really angry. They were really emotional, and I was like, yes, there's that anger. I love it, because that channeling that anger is, I think, how channeling that anger into love, revolutionary love, is how we make this happen. And I think it's just, I was seeing that, and clearly the haters could not handle that, because things this actual union organizing and union workers and all that, that just shut everything down.
Let me bring everybody up to speed so they know what you're referring to. So for those that may not know, believe it or not, there were people that were quote unquote hating on the General Strike Summit, which was just odd that you would hate on something that's trying to help people. So they would bring up things like, oh, you guys don't have a union, you don't have any union representation there. And then we would post, oh, here is the Vermont director of the AFL-CIO. She'll be on, oh, she's a nobody, somebody else. So then when we got that Kellogg worker and brought them on, and posted that, then that kind of shut them up. But like Nick said, people like that, bad actors, we just gotta kind of brush them off. So, but let's play one of the videos. Liv, I do want to play a couple of the videos here, and actually this is a good one to start with. So this is a video, Afeni, Brianna Joy Gray.
Yes,
Sabrina,
I was going to say that was another highlight. Seeing them,
and Rome. So
Rome,
let me play this video. Let me share my screen and play this video. So it feels so good to play content on here. I don't have to worry about copyright. I can play my own content at this juncture here. Lots of content to play. So again, Brianna Joy Gray, Afeni, Rome. And let's go ahead and play this video, and then we can discuss it on the other end.
But I know that each of you wanted to talk a little bit about the experiences that you've had and why you think doing this today is so important. So let's start with you, Afeni. I know you wanted to talk a little bit about why collective action matters and why it's important to be having conversations about what would be required to do a general strike, even if some of the infrastructure, as we all know, isn't necessarily in place at this moment.
Absolutely. I would just, like to emphasize that organizing is a privilege. It shouldn't be, but it is. It's something that you have to have the space for, you have to have time for, and your material needs need to be met in order for you to have that time to do that. So I would like to say that as we have this conversation, like always want to big up mutual aid. We have to meet each other's needs so we can organize. But as far as like the history of direct action goes, it's very important for us to remember like how important collective action is and how collective action is how we actually move forward as a society. We're not going to be able to get it through the ballot box as much as people all want to say that that's the case. No social movement has ever started in the halls of Congress or anybody's state legislator. Sorry, it's just not how it works. But movements have started in the streets with Black queer people, for example, with gay people during the Act F movement. Like AIDS wasn't even necessarily mentioned in so many different medical textbooks. The treatment for it was treated as something that was, so taboo. But because of these queer people, a lot of Black queer people that don't get their credit, but because of these queer people coming forward and making their voices heard, coming to dump ashes on the White House lawn, because, direct action looks different. All these different things that they did actually turned into real structural changes that's saving lives today.
Yeah, that's just a great point made by Afeni. And just for those who may just be watching and wondering why is Brianna the one asking the question. So Brianna came on and she wanted to host in an hour. So this hour, or maybe it was 2 hours, Brianna is the one asking the questions to everybody on the panel. That's why that happened that way. So yeah, but your thoughts on any part of this video, any content on this video?
It was just fire, straight fire. I mean, it's Afeni, Brianna Joy Gray, Stabs, Rome. Like, what else do you want?
Right. So let me take you to one more video. I have all of these bookmarked because I know we were going to be covering them all. This is another good one right here. We can.
Oh yeah.
Here. So
yeah, this was.
Let me read what they say. So it says you really have to focus first on targeted strikes and wildcat strikes. We don't have the necessary infrastructure to take care of people. This is Sabrina and Gloria Jones talk striking workers, mutual aid, and homelessness. So let's go ahead and play.
Because of the increase of homeless populations that we are having.
Let's start that sound over.
When you look at the tent communities, which seem to be sprouting up everywhere across the United States now, not just in California, when we think about the case for a general strike, and we hear someone like Jeffrey Katzenberg in Los Angeles who is trying to criminalize homeless people, right? can we make a case for a general strike because of the increase of homeless populations that you're having in California, that's spreading across the country, and because of the tent communities and criminalizing homelessness? Glory, I want to go to you.
I think one of the things that's so hard about trying to actually materialize a general strike is the fact that, well, you know, it's this vast general strike. And with something like that, I said this on Slow News Day, you really have to become like the Philadelphia 76ers and trust the process. And that means that you really have to zero in on establishing the necessary mutual aid networks. And you really have to focus first on targeted strikes or wildcat strikes that take place over the course of a single day, because right now our country is like so divided, or well, the US is so divided among partisan lines. And there's also the fact that right now we just don't have, I believe, the necessary infrastructure to take care of people who are going to be out of jobs. We need to be able that we can, you know, have these strikes within specific industries like dock workers that are happening in Los Angeles. I know the dock workers did a protest against the mandates forcing them out of work, or in Beverly Hills and other parts of Los Angeles, there were firefighters that are going to lose their jobs eventually. And then there's also truckers as well as other industries that are looking to do more and more strikes. So I think it's going to be about supporting them. And, you know, the big strike happening right now as well with the Kellogg's workers, also supporting them. And anytime Amazon workers go on a strike, make sure we have the necessary mutual aid for them, making sure we have the necessary resources and mutual aid to take care of our people who are currently homeless, protect them, because especially in Los Angeles, they're getting swept out for filming, for the purposes of like movie filming.
Yeah, so that clip there, a few things that stand out to me in that clip, and that is when she said we don't have the infrastructure, I think she was referring to mutual aid infrastructure to take care of people, and for those that are, you know, really want to jump at the general strike, I'm not talking about other mutual aid efforts, because we want to do those when we do those 1 days and abstain from from buying anything. We want to keep doing those. But if we're talking about a long-term sustained strike, we have to build a mutual aid infrastructure. This is something you have been going hard on as far as mutual aid, but that structure has to be built in order for people to feel safe enough or comfortable enough to go, you know, to join any sort of general strike. So great point I think Gloria made. And then just, you know, same point, in the same breath, she also mentioned smaller local strikes that can be the beginning of a general strike. So any thoughts on this video?
Just great. I mean, I love seeing Josanna on that. And I watched her international leftist panels, coalition panels. Those were great. I really loved Glory. I want to see more Glory. That was fire.
Absolutely. So, okay. And then we had Danny. I think he's formerly from the Black Agenda Report. Now this tweet is this empire has nowhere to go. They will not give us anything unless their power is taken away. Arm workers with an internationalist worldview. This is Danny and JB talk U.S. empire and labor at the General Strike Summit. So let's play this video. Let me pause it so the sound will begin at the beginning. All right, here we go.
I mean, there's a reason why even just our media gets attacked, right? Our media talking about this gets attacked. There's a reason why the algorithms continue to get pushed down. It becomes more difficult to talk about these things. It's because this empire, this capitalist system, has nowhere left to go. The reason why people are kicking and screaming for Medicare for all and not getting it is because the capitalists do not want to give it. They will not give it unless their powers taketh away. I mean, that's just how I see it. And so that's why it's so important to begin to strategize, map out the situation of workers in the United States, and arm workers with an internationalist worldview, so that I mean, the moment is now, but when the moment comes where that solidarity is materialized into real concrete action, we're prepared for it. And we know that U.S. wars are happening and happen all the time, and those are usually the moments where they're when it's all the more critical.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Before I move on, that point there where he said have an internationalist, viewpoint, to me is very important. For example, like our jobs are shipped overseas for lower wages. That should have created a strike here. You get what I'm saying? Like, if we have solidarity internationally, that should create some sort of movement here to say, hey, they shouldn't be getting paid those low wages either. Like, we don't want you to ship our jobs over there. You should be paying union, workers at the time, or paying workers what they're valued. But if you're going to ship them over there, we should have this, to me, the same laws that apply here to American companies should apply anywhere on the planet, because you're an American company. That's what I believe. So yeah, I thought this point was on point, and let's go ahead and finish this clip.
One of the things I just wanted to bring out was that, and I'll bring you in on this, Josanna, because I think it's a very important point, is that you're speaking about a larger point of that we're all connected around the world. And one of the things that I think is so important about a strike or a general strike is that the United States is basically a glass house now, because of the intersection of the internet and everybody being able to look in now and to see how things are from us, visualizing that out. And because of them being able to see what the United States is really like, now they're able to see that when we have things like a general strike, like for instance, what's going on in Massachusetts with the nurses, or what's going on in Michigan with Kellogg's and with John Deere, and in the Midwest, then that also could be a spark to others in other nations.
I think that's sort of one of the points I was just making about this international worker solidarity that right now isn't as strong as it should be. And I'm speaking in particular when we're talking about the workers here. You hear Josanna all the time say that activists all in other countries feel like they're waiting for the U.S. to get on board with everybody else as far as activism. Because they know that, the Holy Grail's here. This is the root of the issue, and they're ready, and they're waiting for us to sort of get on board. So I think that speaks to the international worker solidarity that's needed. Did you have any thoughts that you wanted to share here?
I didn't see this panel. What was this panel?
This one was just Danny on, and I think the title was Imperialism and Labor.
Okay.
That was the title of it. I forget which day. It must have been Saturday. I think Danny was available on Saturday. So yeah. The comments are stacking up. So let's actually go to some of these comments to make sure we're getting everybody here. We don't want to be forgetting anyone here. All right, so this guy, so somebody's in there trolling. So that's what they do.
This was we're planning on talking about this later.
So I mean, he could. That's fine. And then internal issues. I don't know what that means. Yeah, this is, here goes one here. It's just bad. Something's going on in the chats. We should have had
It's because we're not immediately addressing Jimmy Dore.
Oh yeah. Hey, I'm waiting for everyone members. This is a co-op that needs. There's no leader of FHL, so everybody has to agree to certain things before any sort of statement is made. So that's what's happening. I'm not going to unilaterally do that. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's not how FHL works. That's not how a community works. And so that's the state. But I had no idea that's what they were referring to until you just kind of clarified it for me. But since you did bring that up, that's why I wanted to address that. So no one is avoiding anything. Again, I'm trying to not divulge any private conversations until members are ready to do that. So that's where I'm going to leave that. If that's not good enough for you, it's not. But this is how a group with no leader is ran. That's what it is. So I'll leave it at that. Nick's beard is on point. Somebody's talking. Oh, he's talking about the General Strike Summit video. So let's get back into the discussion here, and then I'll put up some of these comments here. You don't have to denounce him in the. So for me, when we have people in the comments saying inflammatory things or saying things that you don't agree with, this is a free country. You allow people to speak. You let them speak. If they're bothering you that much, just ignore them. That's how I feel. Like, I'm not going to kick anybody out unless they're talking about violence or something like that. So that's how I feel about the comments. I'm not one that wants to overly moderate. Again, I don't want to have that sort of authority over anyone or anyone's speech, because I truly believe in free speech. So that's why, I'm not going to moderate that unless there's some sort of level of violence there. So yeah, I'll allow everybody in the comments to make their own comment about that. But anyway, so let's get back to some of the moments. And there's another moment, or another video, not moment. This one here, is this the one? This is one of the union ones, but I'm not sure if this is.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, so we could play it. Nothing wrong with playing it. So let's play this one, but this may not be the one that I was looking for, but this is one of the union ones. And 7,000 views on Twitter. So let's check this one out here.
Hello, my name is Wyatt Elmore. I'm a mechanic at the Kellogg's plant in Battle Creek.
Thank you for coming on. It's an honor to speak with you. I would love to hear your story and why you feel so driven to. I'm sure it looks cold over there.
It is a bit cold out here. I ain't gonna lie.
You are out there in the cold. Why, sir? Why? I would love to hear your story.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, what we are on strike for is we're against the two-tier. We have a two-tier program going on here, and we're against that. So there's 30% aren't getting the same wages or the same benefits as the upper 70%, and so the upper 70% basically voted to support our lower tier people and support not only the people that are there now that are new, but the people that are going to be coming in new. So we're trying to protect our futures.
Because what I'm hearing, it's not just about pay, and it's not just about the two-tier system. Can you touch on a couple of those as well?
Sure. There's some things that the company wants that we absolutely won't really tolerate, and that is they want to take the union logo off the box. So the average person that goes to buy a box of cereal doesn't know if it's been made in the U.S. or it's been made in Mexico. So if they take that union logo off the box, then the average person can't tell where it's been. So we're against that. We want our logo on there. We're proud of the product that we make. We're proud of the quality and the safety, the food safety that's involved. So without that being on there, we can't guarantee what's in that box.
Wow. Sounds like more than just a minor issue. I mean, that's a very big issue. And I appreciate you guys fighting for that as well. That's deeply important because it's important for us to know where our food comes from. We were actually speaking about earlier about co-ops, and one of the things that we were speaking about is workers like yourself. You guys have a say in the goings on in the company, and I just want to, say that I have solidarity with all of you, and I appreciate all the work that you guys are doing, despite being out there in the blistering cold and trying to fight for workers' rights. Because this isn't just a model for yourselves; this is a model for many other workers across the country as well.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like, maybe it's me, it seemed like all the union workers were some of the better interviews that I liked, and maybe it's just because of what they were saying. But yeah, some of the union member or union worker interviews were great. So and this is one of them. Did you catch this one?
Yeah, that was a great one. I think I caught all the striking interviews.
Okay, because this was another one where, same day that what's his name? Rome traveled. Same time. He spoke to him first, and then he got the other person.
Awesome.
Yeah, or the other what's his name? Trevor. I forget his last name. Okay, let's see which other video we can play here. Let's see. The system of capitalism is okay. So this is another one right here. Of course, unapologetic, bringing the fire. So the system of capitalism is rotten to its core. They're not going to propose a system that takes power away from them, away from themselves. Change will come from the streets. Build Back Better is a joke. So this is unapologetic. If you're not following him, make sure you follow him on Twitter. Let's slide this over here. All right. So this is unapologetic on that topic.
It is rotten to its core. The system of capitalism is rotten to its core, and it's going to exploit people. And it's like we talk about on this panel. If you just sit down for 5 minutes, sit down for an hour, and you really try to make a list of pros and cons of capitalism, it is nothing but overwhelmingly harmful to society. So it's deeply unserious, as they could say, to even entertain the idea that some type of a deviation from capitalism is going to come from the people who are entrenched in the system, the people who are the establishment. They're not going to propose a system that takes power away from them. So any type of transition, any type of movement towards socialism or any type of left ideology where power goes back to the people and resources are actually dedicated to supporting communities, anything like that is going to come from the streets. All of that is going to come from pressure in the streets. And all that other bullshit is just theater, because at the end of the day, they'll play you like they did with this bullshit Build Back Better plan. They'll throw all these good things out there and, we'll give you childcare. We'll give you. At the end of the day, we knew it wasn't going to pass. And when the vote happened, that shit didn't even come up, and they voted on something completely different that did what? Privatize our infrastructure, give subsidies to oil companies, and all this other shit to uphold capitalism. So everything else that they do is just a show to pretend like they care about people. But when it comes down to it, the policies that they do, the legislation that they pass is to uphold the system of capitalism.
Absolutely. And Liv, one other thing, you may have known this, but the Build Back Better plan has tax cuts in it, not for you and I, but tax cuts in it for billionaires. Let me see if I can find a quick article here. Did you hear about the details of how much tax? Or here it goes right here. Let's play it, this one right here. So when the final language of the bill comes out, this is what we find out about this bill. $285 billion tax cut for rich is now second most expensive piece of the Build Back Better plan. So of the money, you know, the scaled down Build Back Better plan, right? $285 billion of that is a tax break or a tax cut for the richest people.
How much?
Yes, 285 billion.
285 billion with the B?
With the B.
With the B.
With the B.
I also knew it was 25 billion in subsidies for fossil fuels, and that was a cut from the 100 billion for public education.
You believe that? But look how much tax breaks. It's so absurd. But this is the build back. What are they building back better with this tax break?
Capitalism, the rich, the elite.
It's just terrible. So I'm sorry. I thought I had this on the screen. My bad. I keep thinking I'm sharing this, but let me share this other part here because I wanted you to see what I'm reading here. My apologies, everybody. I thought that I had this on the screen, but this is what I was reading from here. Common Dream article, Jake Johnson. This was today. $285 billion tax cut for the rich. The whole initiative seems deliberately sculpted to hand the American right a weapon to bludgeon Democrats over ahead of the election. Sorry for butchering that there, but you get it. This is terrible.
Wow, I didn't think it could get any worse, but I shouldn't have asked myself that.
Yeah, this is terrible. Pretty wild that the second largest Build Back Better measure will give a hefty tax cut for richer Americans. Pretty disgusting in my opinion. So yeah, let's go ahead and bring up another video, couple more videos before we transition here. Lee sums it up pretty well here. May not have to comment much after you hear what Lee has to say. So let's go ahead and play Lee.
Oh, I still see the screen about the bill.
Okay, sorry. Hold on a second here. I keep forgetting I have to redo this here. My apologies. Stop sharing. Okay, so now let's go back to Lee's video here. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, my final point is that I think that all of this is useful. I think having these discussions, I know earlier you were talking about how people told you not to do this and stuff like that. These discussions are important, and they are the foundation that allows for large change to come later. So anybody who wants to stop something like this in its infancy is, it's basically like become a part of it or get the fuck out of the way.
Right.
Times are too dire to sit around and wait for some union that's aligned with some Democrat in Congress who's going to give you the okay to rebel or the okay to revolt. That isn't fucking happening. It's never happened. And they have pushed workers and minimum wage workers and so many people to the brink. And I realize there's a lot to risk when you're standing up, but it really has gotten to the point that there's no other option. The capitalism, its gravity. The gravity of capitalism is always towards greater exploitation, greater wealth in the hands of a few, and we are in late-stage capitalism, in times of capitalism. Environmental systems are breaking down. You've got 3 people with the same amount of wealth as the bottom 50%. these are the kind of final days of such a system. And so the question is, does it change to make a livable planet, a sustainable planet for workers and for the environment? Or do we just fucking ride it into the sunset and off the cliff?
That's a great point. And it feels like capitalists are saying, let's just ride it off into the sunset. That's what it feels like to me. Tell me what, let me take this off the screen. Tell me what your take is on this. So I was talking to somebody yesterday, and just a random person, and this is what they were telling me. They were telling me this whole metaverse thing.
Oh, with Facebook? With Facebook?
Yes, that this whole metaverse of living in this digital world is them. This is how life is going to be because climate change. That we're just going to be living in our homes because the conditions outside of our houses are going to be so terrible, and the things we do will be done in a virtual world like this. I had never, heard anybody explain that to me, and I was like, wow, I never even thought of that. Not to say that there is some sort of connection or anything, but it was something to think about. That, just something to think about. Not any sort of connection I want to sort of make. Oh, I see case study. Yeah, he does. I guess I can put his on. And sorry, Case, he was supposed to come on Monday. I was supposed to do the round table on Monday, but I was freaking dead tired. Everybody else was kind of tired. Also, sorry, Aaron. I think I had Aaron and Logan on that for the panel. So my apologies. Oh, and I'm sorry, in Case, that's why I put his comment up, because he was supposed to be on that panel also. So my apologies. We will reschedule for next week, probably same topic. And let's play maybe one more clip or so. Let's see here. Anything that is real good. We all like, or we all love Black in the Empire. So let's listen to him. Always great to hear Daryl. You see it on the screen, right? I don't want to the same mistake I was making before. Okay, so here we go. Black in the Empire, aka Daryl.
I'll repeat the question. How does press freedom intersect with the need for a general strike?
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, I absolutely agree with Misty, and I think that I think one of the problems we have is a lot of us don't understand like how far this goes back. Because the establishment, I think we look at things as as being done spontaneously, but a lot of these things have been set in the works like decades ago. The Telecommunications Act of '96, with Clinton. I mean, this was actually planned to set up the environment that we're living in now, to where 6 corporations actually pretty much have control of all the mainstream information. And I think right now they're really cracking down on censorship at this point, because I don't think what they foresaw, even though this was planned a long time ago, was the strength that independent media would have, or the ability that Assange or Snowden or any type of whistleblower would have to be able to expose the things that the empire is actually up to at this point. So it's definitely going to be important for us to be able to maintain our ability to communicate, because that's really what they want to take away. They want to take away dissent. They want to take away our ability to communicate with each other, to be able to unify or to find any type of unity. Because, of course, I look at it like, unity is actually like the kryptonite to the power of the establishment. So they're going to do anything they can do to prevent that.
Yeah, and again, such a great point. Communication during a general strike or during this period when they're trying to censor you, when they're trying to like just clamp down on any sort of dissent, calling any criticism of the Joe Biden administration, for example, misinformation. It's just, to me, it doesn't make sense that more people, it feels like more people should be outraged about, taking away this infringement on our free speech rights. And it just seems like people are willing to give up their rights when it comes to if they're fear-mongered into it. Like people are willing to give up their rights if they're fear-mongered into it. 9/11 is a great example of that. Any comments on this video, Liv?
No, that was another great one with Black in the Empire and Misty Fire as well. I'm trying to think of any other great videos. I mean, those were all some of the great ones, and I feel like I saw most of those as well. And I'm trying to think of how that's censoring us. I mean, it's just like what you said, about please make sure you're subscribing to our channel because they're censoring people by kicking you off channels and stuff now.
Yeah.
So, I did a stream on PVM one night and we were talking about Julian Assange and we were kicked off and put in private and
what?
We were taken off the air. Yeah. And
mid right while you're on the air.
Midstream. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So this is happening to all of us. And that's, I think what Misty always says, this isn't just an attack on Assange, Snowden, Hale. This isn't just on the whistleblowers. This is on all of us. Mm-hmm. This is just how they're making all these laws to legalize killing protesters now. They are really trying to crack down on every part of us, our freedom of speech, our right to protest, our everything. They are cracking down on it. And we are directly being affected. The average day person is being affected by this.
Right. And it just maybe some of them don't understand it or they feel because of this, that's why. Oh, because of the pandemic, that's why they're infringing. Oh, that's okay then. And they don't understand that that's just the first step into infringing upon your rights for everything. And I just feel like I wish more people felt that way. So I think this might be one of our last clips here. And this one is Tara Reid talks Joe Biden Me Too sexual assault. So let's play this Tara Reid video. She is with Kamali and Josana.
And I just want to really say how much I appreciate your platform and both of you for doing what you're doing and the work that you're doing and showing up and really advocating for people's voices and providing unity instead of division. So I'm really humbled to be with you. So thank you. What I would say is that, coming forward about sexual assault, sexual assault and sexual harassment, it's an equal opportunity offender. Okay. It's not, it crosses all socioeconomic lines. It doesn't care, and so the fact that the Democrat elites have decided to protect their own, so to speak, but yet still wave the Me Too flag as if they're really interested in protecting the interests of women. It's the hypocrisy is astounding. Rose McGowan, who is a cultural resetter and has nothing to do with Me Too. In fact, she just tweeted that out today. She doesn't want to be attached to that. Tarana Burke actually was the founder of Me Too and had a good and that movement that she created was about Black women and Black little girls' voices not being heard, and then that got co-opted by Alyssa Milano and the Democratic crew, the elite, and they kind of and then they put on their hats, their vagina hats, and walked around and had these parades, and it became a hashtag instead of what it was supposed to be about. All of us, gender-based violence is prevalent in our world, but in American culture, it is institutionalized. And it's institutionalized with the patriarchy and misogyny, and it's all part of it. And, one of the things Tarana Burke was trying to get across too was just the silencing of Indigenous and Black voices. and those stories. And I came forward about Joe Biden. And Joe Biden, you know, when I came forward at the time, he was going to drop out of the presidential race. So I went for help to Time's Up, not knowing that one of the founders of Time's Up was being paid over $2.2 million to do public relations for Joe Biden.
That is just astonishing. I know this is a fact that you know, we've heard over and over. Liv will be back. She dropped out a little bit. I know this is a fact we've heard over and over again, but every time I hear it, it's always astonishing that someone who's working for an organization like Time Lapse, or what they claim to be, someone working for that organization is representing Joe Biden. That is such an astonishing fact, and it just amazes me. I don't know if that organization is still around or not, but that is astonishing to me. So let's check out one more video here. Okay. Liberals are becoming increasingly fascist. Sorry, I haven't been getting to a lot of the comments. I'll get to a few more in just a second. Yeah. Status quo Milano. Like that one. Okay, so let's play another video here. Maybe one last video before we sign off, and let's see if Liv messaged me. Yeah, 1 second here. Okay. Yeah, hopefully she's able to get back on. She's restarting. All right, so let's play the next video here. Sorry, everybody. Okay, so let's now go to let's go to my bookmarks, and that's where all of them are. Did I play this one? Oh, I didn't play this one. Oh no, I did. I did play this one. I think I played that one. Actually, no. This is the first one. Okay, so let's play this one then. So this is the guy's name I was trying to remember. Trevor Beidelman is the PCTGM. There she goes. Local 3G union president for the striking Kellogg workers. I'll add you back in, Liv. There you go.
Sorry, my laptop died.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I held it down until you got back. I checked the notes though. I was like, let me check. I'm not notes. The DM and see if you had message. So I just because you dropped off, I decided to play one more.
Yeah. Oh, great. Well, that was with Trevor from the Kellogg strike.
Yeah. His name I was trying to remember. Beidelman. That's the name I was trying to remember earlier. What I mentioned, but this is the clip that I mentioned as one of my favorite
hello everyone.
moments.
My name is Trevor Beidelman. I'm the president.
One of my favorite moments. So let me make sure sharing this. Yeah. And let's make it bigger. All right. So let's play this final clip, and here we go.
Hello everyone. My name is Trevor Beidelman. I'm the president and business agent of BCTGM Local 3G. We're currently the people that are on strike against the Kellogg Company.
Direct action is something that can be incredibly effective. I think that we need to have the right resources set up before we go into doing that. And you're a part of the Kellogg strike. And for people who don't know, can you please explain to everyone, why are workers on strike at Kellogg's right now?
Well, it's kind of similar to what you were speaking about as far as the healthcare piece, right? The company has been insisting upon a two-tier wage and benefited and pension system, and a lot of that is around the healthcare piece of it. And if you really look at, unfortunately, organized labor the last 20 to 30 years, we have not fought for the future at all. We have compromised to avoid fights, and that compromise always comes at the future workforce. Either the junior workforce or the future workforce. And I've been a part of this now for 15 years. I've tried educating people and explaining to people what this race to the bottom is. And if we don't do something about it to stop it, we're only a couple generations away from being a third world country. Case in point, earlier today, I was reading on Facebook and they were talking about retirement healthcare. And a gentleman put on there that they didn't even know that employees had something like that, like anywhere. And really, when you put that in perspective, if we don't do what we can do to keep fighting for the healthcare to be paid for by the employer, 20 years from now, people aren't even going to know that employers paid for healthcare in the first place, because it's just going to be totally unheard of. So again, I have not been a huge part of the marches for Medicare for all, but at the same time, I fully support it. I believe it's something that needs to be fixed. If Medicare for all was something that was attained, then we wouldn't be fighting with businesses over the amount of healthcare that's paid for, because that would just be something that everybody has, right? So it would free up different types of things to address with the company, as opposed to fighting over things that are literally sometimes matters of life and death.
Absolutely.
I just gotta say, Jay, because it really, it's a pet peeve of mine when people are like, oh, just the future generations, we're only a few generations away from being like a third world country. No, you don't understand. We are living through the climate catastrophe right now, and we are projected to be extinct within the next 20, 30 years. Okay? Plants, animals gonna be extinct. Cities are gonna be underwater. People are already dying and being refugees from the climate crisis. So it always irks me when it's like, oh my god, we're it's making it seem so far instead of
it's so far.
It's looming.
It's
present. It's here.
In your imagination right now, but it's coming. No, it's here.
Here.
Yeah.
That was my one take. Which
part of it, I think, I'm not saying this person or any person. I'm saying part of, I think people, because of the propaganda, they are miseducated about it.
Yep.
So that's part of it. So if you're not actively going out to research what you're hearing on TV is fact, because you would think America is doing great things with climate. You would think. Right, but it's completely,
Well, I mean, that depends. If you listen to the squad in Biden, if you listen to the climate scientists, no.
It's terrible what the squad said, knowing that the United States military
lying to the American people, Jay. Fucking lying.
The United States military pollutes more than 130 countries combined. The number one polluter, the military number one polluter on the planet,
military-industrial complex,
and they're exempt from all climate, environmental policy and standards. The number one polluter, that tells you you're not serious. You're not serious about this planet at all if you're exempting the number one polluter. And it's I don't know, it's terrible. But that clip where he says, and he says a lot of other things. There'll be probably some more forthcoming clips that'll be dropped in the next few days. He supports a general strike too. He actually says it. So there is it floating around. It's not just floating around with the left. So
and which one of them, some of the strikers that were interviewed, they kind of said there's already a soft key general strike happening right now.
Exactly.
They acknowledged it.
Nurse, I think
I think it was that guy, the nurse.
Yeah, the guy. He was good. I want to get his clip too. The nurse guy that Kamala got to interview. Yes. He was so good. But yeah. But anyway, back to this clip. But to the point I was trying to make is that not just with the left, there is a hunger, a interest, let's put it that way. Maybe not a hunger, but because with the left, there's a hunger for a general strike. Mm-hmm. But for people who are apolitical, maybe not into politics, there is an interest and desire for what we need something to drastically change. And that we can feel that. I think we can feel that with the idea of a general strike. So that is the last clip I wanted to play. I mean, there's other clips, but I don't, make this entire show of just clips. So I'll end it there as far as clips. Let's see, quicker here. Quicker in here. CJ Talk Live. Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So I think I'm gonna end it there. The Kamala story. I'm just gonna talk about it a little bit. So let's pivot now to the Kamala story. I wanted to squeeze as much out of the general strike as I could. Now, the Kamala story is not really a story. It's just a Twitter topic, and then we'll end with your mutual aid. Liv, any mutual aid shout outs that you have right now. Let me go ahead and share the screen again. And let's do that. All right, so I'll share it for this final story back up there. So added this story. Added this story here for today's Twitter topic. I think we're going to start doing that as a segment where we have a topic from Twitter, or we go to Twitter and talk about Twitter trends. And then we're also going to have a segment where we're always shouting out some mutual aid. So anyway, I woke up, Liv, and saw this in my feed, and I could not believe it. I'm like, thank Kamala. I'm like, have they not seen her poll numbers? Like, it's like at 28, but this is the one.
I saw that.
This is from a comrade now. So, but they put it up, and I used the picture to make a point. But this is what I woke up to.
Yep, I saw that.
I saw this, and then I clicked on it, and then I just started reading. They were just there. So she didn't do anything. They're basically thanking her because of her low poll numbers. Like, they're thanking her because, or here's a point here. Now, I don't know who this is, but Fearless Action. CNN's hit piece on VP Kamala Harris was disgusting. Retweet and respond with thank you, Kamala, to support her. A hit piece. Right. Okay. So this is the person, I guess, is the person that started maybe, but as you could see, some of the comments aren't exactly in their favor, but anyway, but that's how the story started. But I wanted to cover a couple of tweets just because this one in particular, because this one, it shows a video and it talks about her point of view on babies in cages when Trump was in office, and then it goes into her point of view now that Joe Biden is in office. So let's play this clip here. Let me make sure it's showing there. And all right, so let's play this clip here. It's called Babies in Cages.
President Joe Biden said that he's putting his vice president in charge at the southern border.
They handle the biggest surge in migrants to the U.S.-Mexico border in 20 years.
We're now seeing vivid images of babies, children being put in cages, Chris.
We have children in cages. They have had a policy of having babies in cages,
Putting babies in cages.
putting babies in cages, babies in cages, babies in cages,
Babies in cages, babies up in cages. First, they want to get those babies out of those cages.
I will release children from cages, get rid of the private detention centers.
The first thing I'm going to do was to shut down these private detention centers.
Do you plan to visit the border?
Not today.
Kamala Harris said babies in cages is a human rights abuse.
This is a challenging situation, very challenging situation.
Okay, look, it's a huge problem.
Now we're going to go from babies in cages to babies with their mommies in cages. When you got babies in cages, I went down after the debate because of this administration's policy.
So how is this any different?
This is not kids being kept in cages.
the CBP facilities, Border Patrol facilities, HHS and ORR shelters as an intake site.
Plastic pods, the refugee resettlement facility,
Migrant processing center.
a wall of cabinets.
Is it kids in containers instead of kids in cages?
I know that we always
Wait, they started calling it. I didn't get this far in the video. So
they rebranded it. You don't remember that?
Corporate media is now, they're not calling them, they're calling it facilities and
Yes.
giving it special names now.
Migrant overflow facilities.
What?
They are no longer kids in cages. They are migrant overflow facilities.
I don't understand.
It
Liv.
all changed. Literally, this all changed under the Democrats. This whole thing was rebranded.
It's the same thing.
Yes. Still kids in cages. Still kids with their parents in cages. Still kids being separated from their parents at the border and then kept in cages. Still happening. It's like how they're rebranding food insecurity. Like, it's hunger. People are starving. This is what the Democrats love to do. They love to, rebrand because it can damage their image.
Truly, truly disgusting. So let's finish and see what else I learned from this video here.
always get into the fun of labels around here.
Once these children enter this facility, they do not see the light of day.
Absolutely, we will go down to the border.
Looks like any prison or jail that I have visited during the many, many years that I was a prosecutor.
Why hasn't the vice president visited yet?
Visited the border?
I have before.
And I've been down to the border.
Kamala, what are your thoughts on this? I walked down the road and got on a ladder.
Got a ladder.
I climbed the ladder and I looked over the fence. And I'm going to tell you what I saw.
I'm going to tell you guys what I saw.
I saw children lined up like they're criminals, being led into barracks. Are we looking at overcrowding, particular of these kids? Yes.
And immediately on day one, when elected, I will end it.
We've been in office
That's a lie.
days. Are we frustrated? Are you frustrated? Yes, we are.
Are you enjoying the job? And then we got to go. Yes or no?
I am enjoying this job.
Now, that is a conservative Republican watchdog group, but the video still makes its point.
Still made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely rebranding, like with no change. It's not like they, changed it a little bit. There's zero change in what's happening, and it's completely different somehow.
I just saw someone over the weekend, or what is it? What's today? The week. And they said, but at least it's not Trump, right? And I was like, no, this is actually, in my opinion, this is worse than Trump. Yeah. This is absolutely worse than Trump.
They said that to you? This is Trump, right? And what did you say? What did you kind of just blow it off, or you literally said?
No, I said exactly that. I think it is worse under Biden than under Trump. And they kind of were just like, no. I was like, look at the facts. Like, he just auctioned off. And I kind of talked about the events of the People versus Fossil Fuels protests and having Joe Biden have the Secret Service and then the Capitol Police and arrest indigenous water protectors and allies for peacefully protesting. And then how now, just after the COP26, which was bullshit anyways, I don't give a fuck about it.
That was a complete joke.
Failure of leadership again. But now Joe Biden is, saying, oh, well, we won't touch the Native American territory, but we're going to auction off 82 million acres of land in the Gulf of Mexico for drilling and fracking. Even though we've already concluded, to the troll in the comments, look up the IPCC climate report. Like, this isn't fear-mongering. This is science. We are facing the cataclysmic climate catastrophe as we speak. Like, wake up. Look around you. Like, we're living it.
Yeah. I don't understand people like that. What is the point? What would be the point for people who want climate change to be taken care of? Like, why are we lying about that? Why are we making that? Like, what is the motive in making up something about keeping the planet healthy?
But this is what I don't get, Jay. Like, literally, like, walk outside. Like, okay, I'm back in Boston. Someone commented on my layout. This is my best friend's apartment. This is I'm in Boston right now.
You made a good comment about the layout, though, right? Because I
Thank
like.
you. Yeah, they loved it. Yeah, I tell my best friend you love her apartment. I love it too. And you know, it's mid-November now, and you know, I can still it's remarkably record high warm right now. And this is like, I can tell this change in my lifetime. I am 25 years old and I can tell this climate change in the seasons from when I first started living here to now when I first started living in Massachusetts in like 2000. I lived there till 2012 and I've seen a huge change. Now I'm visiting back almost 10 years later. Huge change in the climate.
Wow. Wait, so are you from Boston or are you just visiting?
I'm originally from New England. I was born in Rhode Island, grew up there a few years, then moved to Massachusetts, to Westboro, right outside of Boston.
Okay.
And then I moved to Maryland. And like throughout all my time in Rhode Island, or not really my time in Rhode Island, I was a kid, but my family's all from there. So I've spent so much time in Rhode Island. But so like the changes in the weather in New England, in the mid-Atlantic where I am now, like the notable shortening of seasons, the lengthening of the how long we're having heat waves for. This stuff is just like stuff I've noticed within my short lifetime. Like this is so for when I'm trying to like point this out to older folks, I'm like, can you even think of like, remember sledding down hills when you were a kid? Like that's something that's changed so much, like sledding, like or like, remember how much you used to shovel your driveway? Like this is things that have changed over our lifetimes. Oh, you're on mute.
I'm a Californian, so I don't know the snow part. You know, I can't relate, but wildfires here. It's literally where I can, like, for example, when there's wildfires, like when we just had the real big ones, I forget when it was. You can go outside and it's like an orange brown haze over the sky, like just over the sky, and you can smell. It's a smell to it also.
Yep.
It's just like you said, just go outside. Like this is not hard at all. Let's see. Yes, we made it, baby. My Kamala Queen. Oh, good Lord. Let's play this right here. Oh my Lord. I think this is a video of someone who likes a stan of Kamala. So I think that's what this is. So let's see if this is a Kamala stan or if this is a parody. So let's see.
Right.
Took a whole lot of trying just to get up there.
Oh, this is the first black woman.
You and me, baby, there ain't nothing wrong with that. We're moving on now.
Oh, yes.
But that's like what people say. Like, and like, how do you feel about this? Like, that was a black woman like promoting this. Like, how do you feel when you see black people also like promoting Kamala? Like,
well, it's like this. This is the analogy I always use analogies. This is the analogy when people say, "Aren't you happy? Obama, first black president. Aren't you happy? Kamala Harris, first vice president of mixed heritage, but partly black. Aren't you happy?" And I'm like, let me put it this way, liberal. Would you be happy if Clarence Thomas was the first Supreme Court justice? Would that make you happy? No, but it's Clarence. I'm like, it's the same thing. Like, she's the first. That'll be part of history. Beyond that, that's it for me. Like, beyond that, that's it. Simply being the first black person, meaning person with your complexion, being a particular complexion, doesn't make you good. What are the policies? And her policies are terrible.
Yeah.
The things she's done in her past are terrible.
Yep.
Obama is terrible.
Yep.
He's a neoliberal. He's a warmonger. He's a war criminal.
Yep.
He's terrible.
Yep.
So because they're first black, but if you're first black and you're terrible, there's no celebration there.
Yeah.
For me. There's none for me. But then there's another discussion, which I won't get into now, where I'm not sure if I would even consider either one of them the first black of anything, to be quite honest with you. Because being black is more than a complexion. It's an experience.
Yeah.
It's an American experience, which neither one of these people have. They don't have that. They don't have the black American experience. Neither one of them, in particular, Obama. So
why do you say that?
Obama grew up in another country.
Yeah.
Obama wasn't around black people. And Cornel West says this. I won't bring up the video now because it'll take me too long for me to find it. But he says it's a video of him saying this, like where he didn't come in contact with no black male, American black male till like he was 18. So he didn't have any sort of understanding of that. And but that, that's another that's a conversation for later. But so no, it's that I get if you say congratulations, Kamala, on being the first mixed race, Indian and black heritage vice president. That's it. Doing videos where you're doing all of that, yeah, that's showing more like you like her and her policies or don't understand her policies, and that's why you like her. And I think for the black people, a lot of black people who actually like her, which is not a lot, Liv, is not a lot, it's because they don't know some of the things she's done. Like that's just simply, what it is. Let's see if there's any other. I think there was one more, and then we're gonna sign off here. This graphic I made, so I just want to make sure everybody gives me props for it.
It's great. It's really great.
Well, I didn't make this part. I just added this on here. That's all. But
it's great.
Yeah.
Give props to the creator.
Thank you. Okay, so where's this another Kamala? Keep going, Kamala. Vote blue. Oh my goodness. I can't. You know what? Maybe not. I'm not sure I can sit through another.
Why? Don't do this to yourself.
Another liberal. I mean, I'll just do a picture. That's as much as I can do. But this is somebody tweeting this out. Yeah, as if they're terrible. They're terrible. It says together they got the infrastructure investments and Job Acts done. They are a team. They're working for all of us, and we are grateful. That's what somebody put. Somebody believes that. Liv. There's people who believe that statement, Liv.
Yeah.
So that is I don't know what to say about that. All right, so now let's go ahead and finish up with your mutual aid. Let's just keep this up and go to your page. And that'll be the easiest. Ooh. How has it been going?
It's been a little slow the past couple days, but I'm still hopeful. I'm still optimistic. I need all y'all's support. We're so close. You can pull that one up right now. I just tweeted that today. I haven't received any donations these past 2 days, but we are so close. We're 175 away from getting winter gear, newborn and infant supplies for friends who are unhoused, and 275 away from being able to do another mutual aid supply run. I would love to do a mutual aid supply run while I'm here in Boston and do some in the areas here and do a mutual aid run here.
How do you find out where to go? Or do you know? Oh, you know that area. Never mind. I forgot. It's not like you're just visiting. You know the area. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just going to get my friend in the car and be like, tell me where these, like the housing encampments are. And let's go distribute these kits. Or maybe we can also get some food. We can get some pizzas like Rome does and get some pizzas to hand out. But yeah, I would love to be doing another mutual aid run soon.
Liv, if you came out to California, the amount of people who are homeless, because California is the #1 homeless populations in California, I believe, right? Yeah, because of the weather or something like that. And you would be doing mutual aid runs nonstop.
Yep.
That's how many, literally, you could just drive and just see. When you're talking about encampments, these encampments be a lot, like lots of people around here in Southern California in particular. So I would love for you and Rome to come out here one time for a mutual aid. And I'll take you around to the places to where to go, and take you to the projects where, poverty is just, they're a step above being homeless. That's how the area is.
For some of them, it's like, maybe it would be better, like, because like the conditions they're living under are so, they're violent, just mold, lead. Like these are inhumane conditions that are meant to brutalize people further. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's between, it's, you can live in this shitty housing, or you can live out on the streets. And then we're going to, thank you so much. And then we're going to criminalize you and arrest you and throw you in prison and use your labor for free.
Right.
With the wildfires, who's putting out those fires? Prisoners who are firefighters in prison, and they cannot even become firefighters when they get out of prison. And they're fighting it for less than $1.
That is, I understand how people can treat other people like that, but that's capitalism, Liv. That's capitalism that we're all experiencing here. So, all right, so that's one of your first one, and I wanted to say about, it's been slow a couple of days, but people probably have fatigue for the General Strike Summit. To be honest with you. Like it was a lot, and FHL is, a lot of the members are just taking a break and just resting. And then Nick had his car broken into, and Rome getting he got death threats. Rome is getting death threats. So it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on to digest in the back. So here's another. Oh, I'm sorry. No, you were. This is just a comment. We can read it.
That was some trending news today. We could talk about that. We need to finally figure out who killed Malcolm X, even though we already know. We just want to finally get justice for it. So today, 2 people who were wrongly convicted of killing Malcolm X were exonerated. But I posted in early 2020, early 2020, a now deceased NYPD officer released a letter completely detailing the FBI and the NYPD's collaboration into trying to infiltrate various groups and assassinate Malcolm X. So
how did he die? Do we know how he died?
Which one?
The guy that you're saying, the police officer that wrote.
He died of natural causes. I'm pretty sure he died of cancer. That was Ray Wood. So there was a link in that tweet I said to detailing about his letter. But yeah, he died of cancer. He wrote the letter in 2011 and gave it to his cousin to hold on to distribute to the, Malcolm X's family after he died, which happened last year.
So this is the article, breaking news from the New York Times. 2 of the men found guilty of assassination of Malcolm X are expected to have their convictions thrown out, validating long-held doubts about who killed the civil rights leader. 2 men. That's the same story. New York Times. Yeah.
Yep. This is a big deal. And you remember how they just decided to not release the JFK assassination file? Mm-hmm. Like they're holding on to vital information that they know would change the course of history.
I think we need to be fighting for this. I think this information, along with what you just said, I think if we found out a bunch of stuff that our government keeps from us, a bunch of people would be like, fuck this shit, and jump in the streets and be like, oh, y'all got to get the fuck out of here. That's what I think. I just think they're terrible people from the stuff we know. Just imagine the stuff we don't know is basically what I'm saying. Just imagine like all of the things that we don't know.
Oh, that's me. Oh, I think he just got himself out of the show. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, he's going to be back in a second, y'all. Okay, I'm going through the comments. Oh, there you are.
I clicked the back button, sorry, instead of the share button. And all right, so that was a good story. Let me actually read. I was wanting to read what it said there before I moved on and close out this story.
Yeah, guys, we got to be fighting for these files to be coming out. We got to be fighting for justice right now. Like there is so much happening right now between like what this coming out. Like we can fight to find the file, to have the files released, the FBI files released. It's like there's already been like over 10,000 pages on Malcolm X that have been heavily redacted that have been released. We need to be fighting for the completely uncensored versions. We need to be fighting for the investigation into who killed him, even though we already again know who that is. But we need that. Someone cited in this article, well, we because we know of the association of the FBI with Malcolm X's death, we want to see about Martin Luther King's death. It's naive to think that wouldn't be related.
And let me just tell you, in the Black community, nobody believes that at all. In the Black community, we know that the government killed both of these people. We know that. Let me just read this. A 22-month investigation found that prosecutors, the FBI, and the NYPD had withheld evidence that, had it been turned over, would likely have led to the acquittal of Mohammed A. Azid and Khalil Islam. The men spent decades in prison for the 1965 murder. Look at that. Just terrible. Just
like,
terrible.
But you know, I just saw, like, I got this as a news notification in my email, and then I saw it on Twitter, and I immediately like jumped on it because like we need to be promoting this. I think there's an ongoing investigation right now. Like we need to be revving this up because it's our responsibility for all this shit because the government has deemed that they are clearly not going to be. Yeah, so that's one of the articles about when this NYPD's the dead NYPD officer's letter was released, detailing what was in the letter.
So make sure when you go to Libs post, click on it. Is right above there. That's where the link is right there. So make sure you click on that. But yeah, just amazing. You got some great stuff on here on your page. Just 3 posts we've only been through. Now tell me about this one here.
This is a mutual aid post for someone's mom who I believe, for dialysis. Please help by retweeting and or donating. They are what they need 150 for their session. And this is going to be a continuous mutual aid effort. So please follow them, keep supporting them. Please go through their tweets. You know, they're very transparent about what they need and why they need it. I don't think you have to do that, but they are. You know, I think, you know, this is just, this is more of what we need to be uplifting.
I just want to comment. The mutual aid is very important, and this is why. But look at what our country forces us to do.
Yep. Because you know this, or Nick says this, or how many people die every year? Because
something like 68,000.
Yeah, it's like close to 70,000.
Yeah.
Because they don't have access to healthcare. And then medical bankruptcy is the number one leading cause of homelessness. So, like, how does that information not radicalize you? How does that not? How does like seeing this and knowing this is preventable not radicalize you?
And because it's or for those who aren't radicalized, it's the individualism that we've been conditioned to believe. And I always say this, I've been thinking about this a lot heavily the last few days. Like, it's parallel worlds. There's parallel existences in the United States. It's a free existence, largely held by the rich or rich white, the oligarch, and then it's the rest of the people, poor whites, other marginalized groups, the trans community, LGBTQ. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like they only believe that they should live a happy life, and just the arrogance of that you don't believe people just want to enjoy their life. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't even think. What is astonishing is that we don't provide healthcare for everybody. Like, a nation that does not do that.
Yep.
A nation that does not provide healthcare for its nation is a nation that does not value the citizens.
Yep. And we were the richest nation, but I just saw that China has now surpassed us.
Good.
So that's going to start some shit soon. Like, that Cold War that was already brewing is getting heated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, what do you think will happen if that's the case? What do you think the U.S. is going to do if that's the case?
I personally, once I found out that in one of these reconciliation bills or something that was just passed, they snuck in a mandatory draft for women. I was like, oh, they're planning a full out war. They're planning this. It's not going to be a Cold War. This is full, like, again, we already say this, that this is a class war happening. Like, look at what's happening out on the streets right now. But like, they're getting ready for like a full-fledged war right now of arming us as soldiers, and they expect us to do this fight for them. So pick a side of what side of the revolution you want to be on, because they're arming up. They're ready. Look at what they're doing, arming the military, arming the police, arming other people's militaries. They're arming up. They know the fight is here.
They do. So I don't know if this is the story, but I'll share the screen. Actually, I got to share another screen. So let's share a different screen here. My cat is meowing right now.
Oh,
is that how you say it? Meowing?
Meow, yeah.
Meowing. This here, this is saying movie. China has surpassed the U.S. as the world's biggest box office.
What? Let me see.
Here's the government's 5-year plans for its movie.
It was just on Twitter yesterday.
Okay.
China.
I just Googled that, so it could be just I pulled up the wrong.
Here,
article.
dude, China surpasses U.S. wealth.
Wealth.
Or do China? Yeah. There you go.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
India,
yeah.
is this right? Let's India news.
Yesterday, man.
I guess I'll go to India news. Let's see how they cover it. Let's see. China overtakes U.S. as world's richest nation as global wealth surges. China has surpassed the U.S. to become the richest nation in the world as global wealth tripled over the past 3 decades, according to a new report by research arm of consultant McKinsey & Company. The report has been prepared after examining the nation's balance sheets of 10 countries, representing more than 60% of world's income. In an interview with Bloomberg, Jake Mikowski, I think that's how you say the person's name, a partner at the McKinsey Global Institute in Zurich, said, "We are now wealthier than we have ever been." So let me see if this is the numbers here. The worldwide net worth rose to 514 trillion in 2020 from 156 trillion in 2000. So in a span of 20 years, it jumped. China's wealth jumped to 20 trillion. I should have been saying trillion. I don't know if I said trillion or billion, but I should be saying trillion in 2020 from just 7 trillion in 2020 or 2000. This marks a jump of 113 trillion in 120 years. That is astonishing. So wow, that is actually has happened. Liv, what do you think about that? What do you think is gonna happen? The shit has hit the fan or what?
Yeah. Oh, I think it's hitting the fan. I think it's there.
Yeah, that is very, very, very interesting there. The empire's falling.
Yes.
In more ways than one. So let's go ahead and bring it to a close here. We're gonna, I guess, end up being on for about an hour and 45. I still got the General Strike Summit playing in the background. Make sure you check out the General Strike Summit. Go check out Oligarch Ice Cream. It's on the channel, FHL channel on YouTube. Go check out Oligarch Ice Cream. It's a parody of Nancy Pelosi being the spokesperson for Oligarch Ice Cream. I played it during this episode, but it's also on the YouTube channel. Let me just make sure I don't have anything from FHL telling me I need to announce. Okay. And Liv, what do you have going on? What do you got coming up?
Oh, what do I have coming up? Oh my God, I have so much. So much podcasting, Green Party stuff, mutual aid. I got all the stuff going on right now. I'm trying to think where to start. Okay. Today's Wednesday. Later today, instead of doing a 5:30 panel and an 8 o'clock panel on PVN, we're just gonna do an 8 o'clock panel. That I think is gonna be about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. And again, that's on the Populist Voice Network tonight at 8 o'clock. Please like and subscribe to our channel. So that's the Populist Voice Network. My show, Live Positive, is on the Populist Voice Network Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern. And this Friday, my best friend Kate, I'm gonna have on. And
is Kate a liberal? Is Kate a liberal?
She's not. She's definitely not a liberal. But I wouldn't consider her a left. I think I don't know if she would consider herself a leftist. I think she is at heart, but she's still like evolving. If I was to say like overthrow the American empire, she'd be like, whoa. But like, you know, like, okay, Liv. But to be like, if I put her on the spot, like, what side of the revolution are you on? She might be like a little hesitant.
Yeah, well, you're a lot more further advanced down that road than most people. So I think you're advanced. Maybe not she's behind. It's just that you're as advanced. That's all.
But she loves and accepts me for who I am and supports me. So we're gonna kind of do a little interview with someone about like what does it mean to be leftist? Like what does that mean to you? Kind of look from the outside of the looking glass looking in. We're gonna see what it looks like and try and do a little recruiting.
Right on. Okay. Well, this is my show, so I don't have anything else coming up this week. Because of the general strike, I don't have any interviews. You know, we kind of tapped out everything. Probably for the next couple of weeks before I start doing, interviews or anything like that, just to recoup all that energy put into the General Strike Summit. I do want to say, like this video, share this video. We're only able to exist because it's people powered. The algorithm is working against us. All the social media platforms are working against us. Liv talked about how she was midstream and they privatized her video because of the content she was talking about. Patreon is where you can support us. No longer on K-Fi right now until we get a new transition over to our new account. So for right now, Patreon is the only place that you can still support us. So please do so if you can. Also support any mutual aid effort. I think Rome in Tennessee or
Yeah, isn't that the next place he's going?
yeah, he's going somewhere. So, support the Tour for the Poor and Rome's mutual aid efforts. Also, the mutual aid efforts that we put up for Live. Make sure you do that.
And then also there's Freedom Fighters DC. That's a fee.
Yes. Freedom Fighters DC. Make sure you support Freedom Fighters DC. Very, very important work that Afeni is doing and teaching us all how to do. She's putting on a clinic for that. So make sure you check that out. I think we covered everything in here. Let's start calling it the Brandon administration. I guess that's a play on let's go Brandon. I guess that's the plan. Let's go, Brandon. So thank you for everybody watching. Thank you for everybody supporting us. There'll be more general strike clips coming up. I'm sure we'll still cover it for another couple of days. Of an event like that, it just takes several days, if not a couple of weeks, to just recap everything that went down. So thank you again, Liv, for joining me for this episode. Shall see you next Wednesday, same time, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. on the West Coast.
Thanks, y'all.
See you later.